All right, first and foremost, I'm going to say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. That's all praise to the Most High God in the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And it's Sicarii Dallas back at it with another Thursday night class, man. So today we're going to go in. What you got going? What's that? Come on, man. Today we're going to go into essentially who Paul was talking to in the book of Romans. Because we believe from the Hebrew Israelite perspective, we believe he is specifically talking to Israelites, specifically to Jews who were in Rome. So let's go throughout the scriptures and let's go throughout Paul's epistle and see exactly who he's talking to. Let's just start with verse 1.
Yeah, this is the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, a servant of Hamashiach Yahushua, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of God.
Separated unto the gospel of God, right? The gospel of God. Read the next verse.
Which he had promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures.
Which he had promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures. So what does that mean? That means the gospel predates the New Testament. The gospel or good tidings is a fulfillment of what the prophets say. Now, let's just read that. Let's go to Isaiah 61. Isaiah 61. Let's just read that real fast.
It is Isaiah 61, verse 1. The spirit of Yahweh power is upon me, because Yahweh have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
To do what?
Preach good tidings unto the meek.
Preach good tidings unto the meek, right? Go ahead.
He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives.
To do what?
Proclaim liberty to the captives.
Proclaim liberty to the captives, those who are in captivity. Showing you it's even just before we even get to where it says who it's for, it's giving you a differentiation between two different people. The people who are captives and people who are not captives. Go ahead.
And the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh, and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion.
And where?
In Zion.
In Zion, showing you what? The gospel or the good news or the good tidings is for those who are in Zion, those who are in captivity, those who are the meek, the lowly of the world, the Israelites. And why would they be lowly? Because they're under the curses. Our people is perpetually under the curses because we continue to transgress the law. We continue to do things that are just straight opposite of what the Most High tells us to do. We praise evil. Like matter of fact, we just world star hip hop. Let's talk about that. World star hip hop. When you wonder why your woman can't grow hair, it's world star hip hop. When you wonder why you're your first one fired, last person hired, world star hip hop. I mean, you do things like that. You praise fighting. You're murderers. You love to listen to music where people praise murder. You love to listen to music where people praise being an idolater, being an adulterer. That's why we're brought to this low state. That's why we're the meek of the earth. That's why we're the lowly of the earth. That's why we specifically need the gospel. Now, just going back to the text, let's say pericope, right? Let's say in the context of this, he's saying the gospel, like the Most High God, really is saying that the gospel is for Zion, right? Now go to where it talks about go down fast. You know what I want. The strangers. Go to the strangers, right? You skipped it.
Oh, shit. Isaiah 61 and 5. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks.
Strangers, non-Israelites, so stand and feed your flocks. Keep going.
And the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and vine dressers.
So your plowmen and vine dressers. What is that? That's captivity. That's slavery. Slavery is literally in the gospel for those who are not of Zion. If you're not of Zion, you're going to be what? A slave. That's why it says strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. Just like how we were slaves in America and all the various captivities that Israel has been in, right? Now go down to verse 9. I'll make one more point.
Isaiah 61 and 9. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles.
Who's their seed? Zion, Israel. Go ahead.
And their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which Yahweh had blessed.
We are the seed that Yahweh has blessed. The Lord has blessed. That we are the seed. It's showing you again that the gospel is specifically for a set people and not for everybody. Now, when we jump back to the book of Romans, go back to the book of Romans real fast. Romans 1.
Romans chapter 1, verse 1. Paul, a servant of Hamashiach Yahushua, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel.
Separated unto the gospel, because he's meant to go preach that to our people who were scattered abroad, right? Now, a Christian will pick this up and say this is now for everybody. But now when you actually read, go to verse 2. Go to verse 2. I'll finish my point.
Verse 2. Which he had a promise afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures.
They promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures. Isaiah being one of them. Zechariah being one of them. Jeremiah being one of them. They all prophesied about Israel rising up. And they also prophesied about the vengeance. What's part of that vengeance? Captivity. It's like Jeremiah 30, verse 16. Like Isaiah chapter 14. Isaiah chapter 60. There's so many. Matter of fact, even when it's talking about Edomites being destroyed, that's part of the gospel. That's the good news for Israel, that you will be saved. That the sword is bathed in heaven, and it'll come down upon Idumea. That's part of the gospel. So now when we get to this, this already disqualifies everybody else. Before, like the first two verses of Romans chapter 1, verse 1 automatically disqualifies this to be talking about everybody, because he's separated unto the gospel, right? And the gospel is for Israelites. Now go ahead and get verse 7.
Verse 7, Romans 1 and 7. To all that be in Rome.
Now this right here, right? Now he's specifically saying who he's talking to. Read that whole verse again.
To all that be in Rome, beloved of God.
To all that be in Rome, beloved of God. Everybody is not beloved of the Lord. Everybody is literally not like you can't show me anywhere in the Bible where it says somebody is loved of the Lord outside of Israel. You can't see that. The Most High set his love upon Israel only. That's why he gave us the law. That's why he made the covenant with our forefather Abraham. That's why he exalted us as a people. That's why we're the best people on the planet. God damn it.
That's right.
Now keep going.
Called to be saints.
Called to be what?
Saints.
Called to be saints. Called to be what? The set apart ones. Who are the saints? Go ahead and get that.
Oh.
Let's see who are the saints. Because this is really like this. Things like this is something you should ask a Christian before you even get to dealing with cuts about specific things. Like, because they'll go in Romans and try to like say, oh, salvation for everybody. But like when you read just the first chapter, of Romans, it already disqualifies everybody else outside of Israel. So you know exactly who he's talking to before we even get anywhere. And like that's not even like that deep to understand. All you have to do is read the book. And the Christian's worst kryptonite is actually reading the Bible, even in context. Context just like damn a precept. Just reading in context contradicts everything a Christian says. Now go ahead and read that. See who the saints are.
Yeah, this is Psalms 148, verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints.
Yeah, the praise of all his what?
Saints.
His saints. Who are they?
Even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him.
A people near unto him, because we are the saints. What does the word saint go into? Set apart ones. Who's the only people in the world who's ever been set apart? It's Israel. He said, like it says in Leviticus, he severed us from all. Give me that real fast. You got your Bible. You don't have to pull it, because I want to stay where we're at. Get your Bible on that one. You got a precept?
I do for the end.
Okay, give me Psalms 50 real fast.
Yeah. This Leviticus chapter 20 and 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I Yahweh am holy, and has severed you.
Severed you. What is that? Sever. That's setting apart. Severed you. Take just like if you sever an arm. Let me read that. Like taking an arm from a body. That's severing an arm from a body. That's taking it apart. That's being set apart. The only people the Lord has set apart is the children of Israel, and that's it. That's it only, right? Now, oh, there go y'all. What's up?
Yeah, I'm about to tell him.
Okay.
But y'all, what's up?
Hold there real fast. Let me see something real fast. Yeah. So the only matter of fact, yeah. You get it then. Give me Psalms 50, where it says, "I made a covenant with my saints." You know what I'm talking about? Because like the thing, like this should be thought provoking. This should be like this should be things that you should use. What's going on over here, man? Hold up. Lord in Christ, man. No, this should be thought provoking to a Christian, right? This should be like, well, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe the Bible isn't specifically for everybody. Maybe the gospel that Paul is separated unto is for the people it was actually written to, like in Isaiah. As a matter of fact, the prophets, man, the prophets in general. Now go ahead and get that.
Yeah, this is Psalm chapter 50, verse 5. It says, "Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice."
Covenant with me by what?
Sacrifice.
Who did that? Who did that? Israel. When the blood was sprinkled upon us. Just like when Moses read the whole book of the law to us, we agreed to it. Then the blood was splattered upon us, and we're enjoined unto the covenant. Like the thing about this is, it's not that deep. It's not that deep to know that the Bible isn't talking about everybody. It's not, well, salvation specifically isn't pertaining to everyone on the planet. It's specifically talking to a certain people. And if it wasn't, why would the Most High God make a covenant with his people, put them into captivity for no reason, and then make it to where now everybody can be saved? Like what like that's literally making the Most High a deadbeat father. That's madness, bro. Yeah, I'm sorry, you gonna say something?
No, I'm just I'm pulling up some stuff on the laptop.
Okay. Go back to Romans real quick. As a matter of fact, who's the called? It says called to be. Who's called? Yeah, go ahead and get that. Read. You read Romans 1-7 real fast. Let's see what a called is.
Book of Romans chapter 1 and verse 7. To all that be in Rome, beloved of the Most High, called
to be what?
To be saints.
And called to be saints, called to be the set apart ones. Who's called? Get that. Go ahead and get that. Okay. No, you go ahead and get that.
Yeah, this is Isaiah 45:4. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee.
You've done what?
Called thee.
Who did he call? Read it again from the top.
For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect.
And who's the elect?
Israel mine elect.
Israel mine elect. Go ahead.
I have even called thee by thy name.
He's called us by his name. What did he do by doing that? He set us apart. He set us apart from even just in that act, right? Because he didn't do that to everybody. He only did that to one specific people. He's only called and severed one specific people to give us the law, to give us the covenant. Everybody wasn't like they like to make a big deal about the whole mixed multitude thing. But who was the covenant enjoined to in Exodus? Who had the blood sprinkled upon them? It was the Israelites. So damn, like the whole mixed multitude thing doesn't even matter. Did they get enjoined into the covenant, or did they not? I would love for a Christian to show me that in Exodus. Now go ahead and give me what's that? Get Isaiah 41 real fast. Like Shalom, my gosh. Go ahead and get that. Isaiah 41.
Okay. 41.
Start at verse 8.
All right, this is Isaiah 41, verse 8.
Was it 41, 8? Yeah, Isaiah 41, 8 through 9, yeah.
But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Thou, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth.
He's taken us from the ends of the earth. That's the severing, like it talks about in Leviticus. Go ahead.
And called thee by Salah, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, thou art my servant, I have chosen thee and not cast thee away.
He's chosen us and not cast us away, and he never will cast us away. Just like give me Romans chapter 11 verse 1. I'm gonna skip over Romans 11 today specifically because that needs its own breakdown because that's an hour and something long. That's a lot of meat. That's a lot of meat. Go ahead and get that.
It's Romans 11 verse 1. I say then, had God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
So the Lord hasn't cast away his people, man. Because even Paul he's a Benjamite from the elite tribe of Benjamin, right? You know, right. You remember that in the Message Bible? He's an elite tribe of Benjamin, right? So he hasn't cast away his people, nor will he ever cast away his people. The Most High God will literally always love us forever. Give me that in Jeremiah. Yeah, go ahead and get that in Jeremiah before we go in. Yeah, you hold that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31 and verse 35. Thus saith Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves are roar. Yahweh of hosts is his name. If these ordinances depart before me.
So the Most High just loses control of these ordinances that he's his name. Go ahead.
Saith Yahweh, then the seed of Israel shall cease from being a nation before me forever.
And we know the Most High will never do that because he's all powerful, omnipresent. He's everywhere, and he is existence. His name literally is he is existence. He's the existing one. He'll never lose power over that. So what does that mean? He'll never forsake us as a people. That's really what it's going into in Malachi chapter 3, where it talks about the Lord doesn't change. We're not going to.
I got some too. Yeah, I was going to bring that out. This is Malachi 3 and 6 in the NET. It says, "Since I, the Lord, do not go back on my promises, you sons of Jacob have not perished."
That's right. We have not perished. He's not going to forget about his promise he made to Abraham about that innumerable multitude that's going to come out of his seed, and that's us. That's the innumerable multitude you see in Revelation chapter 9. It's one of those things where if you follow the context of the Bible and follow the story that's being told, to come to the conclusion that everybody can be saved or this book is for everybody is ridiculous. It just is, man. Now give me go back to Romans. Go to Romans 1 verse 7 again. No, we already read it. Because the thing about it is, if Paul's writing to Israelites, this is what a Christian will say. If Paul's writing to Israelites specifically, why is he talking about Rome? Why is this a letter to Romans? Right now, I want you to read this. I want to pull this out real quick. This right here. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. Read this without the.
It's still showing your screen.
It's still showing this?
Yeah.
It's just that's because it's late because it's on the live.
Okay, fine. All right. The history of the Jews in the Roman Empire. The history of the Jews in the Roman Empire traces the interaction of Jews and Romans during the period of the Roman Empire, 27 BCE through CE 476. Their cultures began to overlap in the centuries just before the Christian era.
Oh, just for the what?
Christian era.
Before the Christian eras, there was already there. There were Jews already there in the land of Rome. Go ahead.
Jews, as part of the Jewish diaspora, migrated to Rome and Roman Europe from the land of Israel, Asia Minor, Babylon, and Alexandria in response to economic hardship and insistent warfare over the land of Israel between the Ptolemaic and Seleucid Empire.
And what is this talking about? This is Maccabees. This is the book of Maccabees. Something you would understand about if you dealt with the Apocrypha, if you dealt with the literal history of what happened to Israel in between Malachi and Matthew. That's the book of Maccabees. This explains why we're where we were at the time. This explains why there was a people who matter of fact, give me that Maccabees real quick. Give me that Maccabees. You started 1 and was that 41, I believe. You keep reading on this. There's more. There's more I want to go ahead and read this one right here.
Jews have lived in Rome for over 2,000 years, longer than any other European city.
Oh wow!
They originally went there from Alexandria, drawn by the lively commercial intercommerce between those two cities. They may even have established a community there as early as the second pre-Christian century. For in the year 139 BCE, the letter Hispanus,
I think it's
Hispanus issued a decree expelling all Jews who were not Italian citizens.
Showing you what? That we were there before pre-Christian times, specifically. That's really what I wanted out of that. We're there before pre-Christian, like where you see the happenings of what they call the New Testament. We were there before this. And why were we there? Because of what happened to us in the book of Maccabees. The diaspora of the Jews. Go ahead and get that in Maccabees.
It's Maccabees 1:41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the king of the commandment. Yea, many also of the Israelites.
Of the what?
Israelites.
The Israelites
consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols.
Yeah, sacrifice unto idols, but
and profaned the Sabbath.
But wait, hold up. Both sins worthy of death. Keep going.
For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Follow the strange laws, because some people teach you got to keep the laws of the land. Go ahead. Keep going.
And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice.
And with burnt offerings and sacrifice, what is that? That's our culture. Through our culture, we had burnt offerings and sacrifices we had to give. That's part of that's our laws. That's our culture. That's our heritage. They had to forsake their heritage. Keep going.
Yep. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
So not only were we polluted, not only was our sanctuary polluted, we completely lost touch of who we were as a people. We were forced to become how the heathen are, just like how we are now. Is that we grew up in American culture. We didn't know we was Israelites. We didn't know that we were God's chosen people. But we didn't know we were God's chosen people. We didn't understand that we were just different from everybody else. We just thought we were American, just like what happened then. Because they had kids and they had to teach them what? That you're not a Jew. I think there's more on that. Keep going.
Yep. Verse 47. And set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised.
Leave their what?
Uncircumcised.
Leave their children uncircumcised. What's a major thing that shows you're a part of this covenant? Circumcision. We had to leave our children uncircumcised. And what happens when you leave your child uncircumcised? You're cast off from the people. If your child is not circumcised on that 8th day, you were cast off from the people. You've broken the covenant, like how it says in Genesis. Our people got cast. That's part of the diaspora. That's them being made into Gentiles, literally. Now give me Second Maccabees 6 verse 6.
Second Maccabees 6:6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
So do what?
Or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Or to profess himself all to be a Jew. We couldn't call ourselves Jews. And what happened? We had children. They couldn't call themselves. They didn't know who they were. So what did they take on? What nationality did they take on? What was given to them? It's Romans. They had to become Romans, just like how we had to become Americans. Right? Go ahead and get your precept.
John, the book of Acts, chapter 16 and verse 20. And brought them to the magistrate, saying, these men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city, and teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, nor to observe, being Romans.
Being what?
Being Romans.
Read again. Just read again.
Acts 16 and verse 20. And brought them to the magistrate, saying, these men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city, and teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Romans.
Because what? It was you weren't allowed to do this. You weren't allowed to do what you weren't allowed to take part in your culture, just like how you see in the book of Maccabees. It's the same thing that's written in history. And Christians want to get away from the Apocrypha so bad, bro. Because the thing about it is they want to get rid of it so bad because you literally can get away with whatever you want in the New Testament if you get rid of that. Because when you see there's neither Jew nor Greek, Christians try to turn that Greek there into now it's everybody. No, it's specifically talking about the Israelites who went through the Greek captivity and had become like everybody else. Greeks. That's what, a matter of fact, like that's why it literally says Greek throughout the New Testament when in Paul's writings. It's madness, right? Give me no, I want you to read this. Go ahead and read this.
Starting at many of the city in Judea.
Yeah.
Many of the Judean Jews were sold into slavery, while others became citizens of other parts of the Roman Empire. The book of Acts.
The book of what?
The book of Acts.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I call it the book of cuts, but the book of Acts in the New Testament, as well as other Pauline texts, make frequent references to the large populations of Hellenized Jews.
Make what?
Make frequent reference to the large populations of Hellenized Jews in the cities of the Roman world. These Hellenized Jews.
Oh, wait. I just thought of something. Right? What it said? The cities of the what?
The city of Salah.
The cities right here is reading.
The cities of the Roman world.
So you what? There's more than one world, man. And like, I just wanted to preface. There's more than one world, man. It's like they have the Roman world, you have the sports world, you have the basketball world, man. There's the Hebrew world, man. And there's only one world Yahweh shall die for, and it's the world of Israel, man. Yeah, keep going on this.
These Hellenized Jews were only affected by the diaspora in its spiritual sense, absorbing the feeling of loss and homelessness, which became a cornerstone of the Jewish faith, much supported by persecutions in various parts of the world. The policy towards proselytization and conversion to Judaism, which spread the Jewish religion throughout Hellenistic civilization, seem to have ended the wars against the Romans and the following reconstruction of Jewish values for post-temple era.
No, hold it real fast. A post-temple era, right? But I'm going to go back to the part like proselytization and converting to Judaism, right? Okay. Salak. And converting to Judaism, right? Our people lost their values and they had to come back to it. It doesn't mean Judaism as in like how we see what Amalek is doing. Not that. We're talking about the actual custom of the Torah and their heritage, which is you're an Israelite. These are the laws you have to keep. This is the customs you have to keep being an Israelite, or what? You're gonna get put to death. And Paul is really trying to go save people from that. That's him proselytizing people, bring them back into their culture. Now go back to Romans, because the whole point I want. Acts 2. My bad. Acts 2. Get that real quick, because the whole point of bringing this up is because I said the thing of if he's talking to Israelites, why is he writing a letter to Rome? Because there were Israelites in Rome, because it was part of the diaspora. That's why we're here. And this right here, this article that has a lot of sources throughout different things like the Jewish Encyclopedia and other things. This sources relates right back to the Bible, specifically the book of 1st and 2nd Maccabees, explaining why this is happening. And this even attributes read this part again. Read this right here.
The book of Acts in the New Testament, as well as other Pauline texts, make frequent reference to the large populations of Hellenized Jews in the cities of the Roman world. These Hellenized...
Wait, stop right there. He made references to the large populations of Hellenized Jews. He was talking to Jews who were Hellenized. This is why it says no difference between the Jew or the Greek. Why? Because they're the same people. The people that's talking about the Hellenistas is talking about the same people. The Jew, and they have the same... That's why it says the same Lord as what is that? Versus like the same Lord overall. They have the same Lord overall because they're the same people. You're not a Greek. What you got? You got something to say? What's up?
Yeah, did you already bring out the point about how Paul said he was a Roman?
Was that Acts? That's Acts 25, right?
Yeah.
No, in Acts 22.
22 or 25.
Yeah, Acts 22:25.
Full verse.
You want me to bring it out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of says, and as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned? When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, take heed what thou doest, for this man is a Roman. Then the chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? He said, yea, yea.
He said,
the
yeah,
chief captain,
sorry, real fast. Sorry. Paul said he was a Roman. What does that mean? That means just saying you're a Roman doesn't literally mean you're a white person. It literally means it doesn't literally mean specifically. There's instances in the Bible where you're just a citizen of this place. You don't literally you don't descend from the Caucasians who are from Rome. Paul in Romans chapter 11 says, I'm an Israelite, but he also says he's a Roman. What by citizenship? That's what we're talking about in Romans chapter 1 verse 7. Really, the whole book of Romans, but Romans chapter 1 verse 7, to all that be beloved of the Lord and called to be set apart ones, the saints. He's talking to those people, the citizens of Rome who are Israelites. Go ahead, Yosef.
And he says it in the next verse how like he gained his citizenship, his Roman citizenship. He says, and the chief captain answered, with a great sum obtained I this freedom. And Paul said, but I was freeborn. Paul said, I was freeborn a citizen of Rome.
Okay, elaborate on that real quick.
Oh, pretty much he was born in Rome. Pretty much this is what Paul is saying. So that's how he got his citizenship, his Roman citizenship. He didn't have to pay for it. That's literally what he's saying. So he must have been of those Jews that migrated to Rome because of the economic conditions and the constant wars in Israel.
And you see evidence of that in Acts chapter 2, where it talks about. Matter of fact, get that Acts chapter 2 verse 5.
It is Acts chapter 2 and 5. It says, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation.
Jews, devout men out of every nation, just like how Rome would be one of those. The devout men out of every nation. Go ahead.
Under heaven. Yep. Now, when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because every man heard them speak in his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue?
They all hear what's going on in their own tongue. Right? Go ahead.
Wherein we were born.
Wherein they were born. Because what? There were Jews born in different lands because of the diaspora. Go ahead.
Parthians, Medes, Elamites, and dwellers in the Mesopotamia, and Judea, and Cappadocia, and Pontus, and Asia, Phrygia, and Pamphylia, in Egypt, and in the parts of Libya and Cyrene, and strangers of Rome.
Where?
Rome.
Strangers of Rome. So you know what? There was Jews in Rome. Even it talks about, was that Priscilla and them in Acts chapter 18? Pull that real fast.
But Acts chapter 18, I'm going to start at verse 1. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome.
To do what?
Depart from Rome.
So there were Jews in Rome, and then there was a decree. It's really talking about a specific set of Israelites to depart from Rome. Why? Because it was already there. That's why Paul had to go there and write an epistle to them. This is why the epistle is an epistle of Romans is specifically to the Israelites or the church in Rome, the synagogue in Rome. It's not even a difficult thing to understand. Now, when you start, let's before we delve off that point, let's look at some actual precepts that you could ask a Christian that wouldn't make that much sense if he was talking to everybody. Give me Romans chapter 4, verse 1.
This is Romans chapter 4 and 1. What shall we say then? That Abraham, our father.
Abraham what?
Our father.
Now, is Abraham literally the father of every nation, literally? No. He's only the father of who? Specific of all specific nations, but he's talking about the Israelites. Read this in the NLT real fast. I love the NLT. I'm prepared to say the NLT cuts harder than the KJV on record. Go ahead, read
Romans 4:1 in the NLT. Abraham was, humanly speaking, the founder of our Jewish nation.
The founder of our what?
Jewish nation.
We know it's not Jewish, but the Jews nation. Showing you this what? It's the Israelites. He's okay, right? Now, if he was talking to people who weren't Israelites, how would you reconcile this verse? Because it's our. Our is literally telling you the type of people we're talking about himself and the people he's writing to. So could that literally be Gentiles as in everybody? No, because that wouldn't work. How do you reconcile things like read that in the GNT? You pull up the GNT as well?
I was gonna say real quick, it says humanly speaking, not spiritually.
Oh
speaking,
man.
Human.
Oh, I didn't even catch that at first.
That's physical.
Oh man.
Like not spiritual. So hey man.
Slovakia.
So how are y'all spiritual children of Abraham when it literally says humanly?
It's Romans chapter 4:1 in the GNT.
Yeah.
What shall we say then of Abraham, the father of our race?
The father of what?
Our race.
The father, Abraham, the father of our race. Now, if Paul is talking about two specific people, like, because you have a Christian, he's talking about Israelites, and Gentiles, like actual natural born Gentiles. How will that work with this verse? Well, how do we reconcile these things, bro? These are things you have, like, if you're dealing with Christian, this is a hardcore cut about who he's talking to specifically. Like, how do you reconcile these things? You don't. Honestly, you don't. You don't. He's talking about Israelites. Now, give me Romans 11. Like, and the thing about this is, we always just jump straight to Romans chapter 9. I mean, not Romans 11. Romans chapter 9. We always jump straight to Romans chapter 9, but it explains everything. Like, I know, like, you always see Hebrews like, just go to Romans 9, but it literally it has everything you need to dismantle a Christian. I don't understand how you're a Christian and you read such a thing and then continue to perpetuate the salvation is for everybody. I mean, well, somebody's lying then. If John 3:16 means literally everybody on the planet, you're gonna have to explain two things for me, right? Why oikomene is not there when that Greek word literally means everybody on the planet in the world. Why is that not there, and why is cosmos there when that doesn't literally mean everybody? And secondly, what is Paul talking about? That's things you have to begin to reconcile if you're a Christian. Now go ahead and get Romans chapter 9 verse 3.
It's Romans 9:3. For I wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen.
My brethren, my kinsmen. Go to you in the KJV, right? Can you pull up the interlinear? I'm curious to see what brethren or kinsmen. See what kinsmen mean. I'm curious.
Nice.
Kinsmen.
I would be surprised. Oh man.
Same kid related by blood.
Oh. Keep going.
And a wider sense of the same nation.
Oh, what?
Of the same nation.
A wider sense of the same nation. So this isn't no spiritual. Like, you know how you have some people. You have you have Jake turn around and say Esau's literally their brother or something. Oh, that's my bro right here, man. That's not what he's saying right here. He's talking about specifically somebody of his own nation. So we can't go ahead and turn this around to everybody can just be a part of this. No. That's not what he's saying right here. He's literally saying that this is somebody of my own nation, my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. Go ahead, keep going.
Go back.
Yeah, go back.
What even when he says according to the flesh? He didn't say according to the spirit.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's according to the flesh.
That's according to the flesh. What is that? What does according to the flesh mean? Through the bloodline descendants. It's just like the thing about that is Christians will just play such a game with that.
We're talking about
your spiritual flesh, man. I'm a spiritual Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin.
John 6:3. The
flesh. Oh man, I can't wait for this weekend. But go ahead and keep going.
It's Romans 9:4. Who are Israelites?
Yeah. Who is his brethren?
Israelites.
Yeah.
To whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory.
Okay, now the adoption. Click on the adoption real quick. This is another great question you should ask to a Christian. When you pull up this Greek word for the adoption there. Go ahead and read that.
It says the adoption, the relationship which God was pleased to establish between himself and the Israelites.
Oh, the what? the what?
And the Israelites.
Oh man.
In preference to all other nations.
It's showing you what? We're still the electos. We're still the elect. We're still the chosen. There's more. No, keep going. Keep going. No, keep going. Read the second one.
Yeah.
Read the second one.
It says the nature and condition of the true disciples in Hamashiach.
So who can be a true disciple of Christ? And only Israelites. If you start with the first outline of biblical usage and then jump to the second one, what is that? Showing you what? That the only true disciples of Christ can be what? Israelites, according to how the Greek word is used. Keep going.
Yep. It says the nature and condition of the true disciples in Hamashiach, who by receiving the Spirit of God into their souls become sons of God.
Reconciled. That the reconciliation is like you see in John chapter 1, where we talked about he gave power to be the sons of God, right? That's talking about the adoption. That's talking about the reconciliation. That's repentance specifically, because when you come back, when you actually abide in Christ, like people say, the Spirit comes within you to fulfill the righteousness of the law, to do what God originally intended of you to do, specifically. And this true discipleship is for the Israelites only. Now go back. Like this is just a Christian. Romans chapter 9 is such a Christian killer. It's crazy.
Every church you got to shut down.
You gotta just shut it down, bro. Just shut it all the way down.
And yeah, we're scared.
I can NLT too.
There's more in NLT? Go ahead. Read NLT.
Yeah, it's Romans 9:4.
How bad is it?
And NLT says they are the people of Israel, chosen to be God's adopted children.
Oh wow. and like I said before about the NLT being just the mastermind of cuts. It's a really good translation of the Bible, bro. Because
they was losing their faith, but they was
look, man. I don't know if this is for me, man. I don't know if this is for me.
That's what that speed reading.
Yeah. Ooh. You know what they had all their faith in verse 26. That's what it really is. We keep going. We're gonna deal with it.
So Romans 9:4.
No, finish reading it in NLT.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious to see what it says.
Romans 9:4 NLT again. They are the people of Israel, chosen to be God's adopted children. God revealed his glory to them.
Oh, to everybody.
Them.
He's revealed his glory unto us. Go ahead.
He made covenants with them and gave them his law. He gave them the privilege of worshiping him and receiving his wonderful promises.
Now, how as a Christian can you sit there and read this verse specifically and then just lie, perpetuate all kinds of shenanigans on the Bible? Hey. Like, what do you do? Like, and like people wonder, you always go to Romans chapter 9. I'm like, because why go anywhere else? You know what I mean?
Hey. Then you're gonna have Chris finally saying, "Well, Paul's not the law."
So Paul isn't the law, man. Oh, now he's not the law.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna answer that question, well, Paul didn't die for me.
See. You see.
So what you stand on now? You already don't stand on the law.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Let me see. Christ himself was far from you. Oh no, it's going off. Verse 5 is going off, bro. No, it's going off. Put it back in the KJV. Yeah, not even gonna do it. Verse 5 is going off. You see, the NLT was doing so good, bro. It was doing so good. Go ahead.
Verse 5. It says, "Whose are the fathers?
Whose are the fathers of what?
And of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came."
As Christ came, right? He came concerning. Whose are the fathers, the Israelites, as concerning the flesh, of bloodline descendancy? Christ came. So you what? Christ died for Israelites. This is Paul literally saying Christ died for Israelites only. So what? Like, and where do we take? Where do we go from this, bro? Like, where do we go, bro? I don't understand. Go ahead and go to verse 26. I know it's because the Christian, what they're going to do is they're going to hear verse 4 being read and already be typing in the comment section. Well, verse 26 is No, verse 24. That's the one I want.
All right, this Romans 9:24. Even us, whom he had called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles.
See, also the Gentiles. So, like a Christian will say, see, also the Gentiles, so everybody else can be a part of it now. So Paul started the beginning of this chapter lying. Then because if the breakdown is now everybody can be called, now Paul's lying in verse 4 through 6. Or he's schizophrenic. It's one or the other. So we have to make sense of what's being said right here. And Paul elaborates on it as it being a fulfillment of what the prophets say. Keep going.
Verse 25. As he saith also in OC, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved. Which
my beloved, which was not beloved, right? Now it says also in Hosea. What is that? What is that? That's Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. Go ahead and get that. We're going to jump back. Because matter of fact, no, before you get that, keep reading. Read verse 26. Then we're going to go to that.
Verse 26. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God.
There should be what?
The children of the living God.
They should be called the children of the living God, showing you what? They were called something different. If you're called something different, what is that? You're being called a Gentile. You're like, and when you think about the word Gentile, it's a really vague term. It deals with nation, people, a people group. It's just a real vague thing. Now, when you deal with a chosen, when you see that the chosen nation, you have what? Quadash in front of that. Set apart, a holy nation. If you were called something other than what a holy nation is, which is Israel, you are what? You're a regular goy. You're a regular Gentile. That's the Gentile is talking about, is receiving salvation. Those who are really Israelites but called something different. They're called black. They're called Hispanic. They're called Native American, or the various Israelites who are scattered abroad on the planet. Now go ahead and read this in Hosea.
It's Hosea chapter 1 and 10. I'm sorry, verse 9. Then said God, call his name Leoni, for you are not my people, and I will not be your God.
Israel, what?
I will not be your God.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 10, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. So
it said we're not the people. We're not called, specifically in America, right? You can see this being fulfilled literally in America now. We're called Black, Hispanic, Native Americans. We're not called Israelites. We're not called God's chosen people. We're called the dregs of society. So here, while we're being called that, we're going to come into the truth and realize we're God's chosen people. Or better yet, somebody is, and that's going to be the Israelites. If you want to take us out of the equation, the Israelites are God's chosen people. And Romans chapter 9, verse 24 the fulfillment of what Paul is talking about is a fulfillment of Hosea chapter 1. And he's literally saying the children of Israel. That's who he's talking about. That's the Gentiles. That's the people who need to be proselytized and brought back into their culture. Now go back to Isaiah. Well, actually, let's read verse 11, because we always stop at 10. Read verse 11.
Yep. Hosea 1:11. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel.
The children of Judah and children of Israel, we got scattered. Well, that's not what I'm talking about. We got split up into two different nations. We were the northern kingdom, which is the Israelites who got scattered abroad. And we have the southern kingdom of Judea. We call it the Jews who were there at the time specifically. Now, they'll both be together. They'll be gather stuff together. What is that? The reconciliation of Israel. Go ahead.
They should be gathered together and appoint themselves.
Do what?
Appoint themselves one head.
Appoint themselves one head. And who is that? That's Yahawashi Hamashiach. That's our shepherd. That's the good shepherd. That's the shepherd of the fold you see in Ezekiel chapter 37. That's the prince. That's the king who is supposed to rule over us under Yahweh. What you got?
Yeah, so this
wait, hold on. Before you get that, finish this real fast. This is where Christ comes into the picture. Go ahead. Keep going.
It says, and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
The great shall be the day of Jezreel. Jezreel means the Lord's planting. That's talking about what? Isaiah chapter 61, the performance of the gospel. We're the trees that the Lord has blessed. We're the Lord's planting. That's a callback to Jezreel. Even if you look at click that word real fast, click Jezreel. That pairs right up with Isaiah chapter 61. See, God sows, right? How do you sow something? How do you sow seed? You plant seeds in the ground, and then it grows and it's reaped, right? Now, hold up real fast. Okay, no, we good. We straight. What was that? You got a precept?
Yeah.
What?
So, and to further prove that,
pull it up on Blue.
What's that?
I pull it up on Blue.
Okay, kind. Yeah. So when it says right here, the children of Judah and the children of Israel shall be gathered together, like the brother was saying, this is already showing you Christ because it was prophesied in Genesis 49 and 10. It says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come, Hamashiach, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be, like it said in Hosea 1:11.
The restoration.
And also to further prove Paul's ministry, who he was coming for, Ephesians 1. And in verse 10, it says this. It says that in the dispensation of the fullness of times, he might gather together in one all things. You see that one? That's the southern kingdom and northern kingdom coming back together. All things in Hamashiach, both which are in heaven and which are on earth, even in him. You see? So further proving.
Wait, keep going. Read the verse.
Yep. That in dispensation of the fullness of times, he might gather together in one all things in Hamashiach, both which are in heaven and which are on earth, even in him, in whom also we have obtained an inheritance. We have retained an inheritance. We, the Israelites, go ahead. Being predestinated.
Predestinated where? And the prophets. The prophets predestinated the salvation of Israel. The performance of the gospel. Us being saved, us being reconciled, us ruling the planet. And slavery. Keep going.
According to the purpose of him who worketh all things after the counsel of his own will.
The counsel of his own will.
And watch this out. Hey, in the NLT in verse 12, check this out.
Yeah, precept.
I got a nice one.
NLT in verse 12, it says, God's purpose was that we, Jews, who were the first to trust in Christ, would also bring praise and glory to God.
You know what's funny? Because they'll say, like, it's the Jews didn't believe in Christ. What is that talking about? Well, how do we reconcile that one? That's just the confoundment.
I guess those the multitude that followed him and ate bread and fish, they didn't believe that.
Yeah, they just going through the motions.
I guess the 12 disciples didn't believe he was there. Just like, his mom.
And that's why I say this, man. I gotta just make a quick sidebar real fast before you read your precept. Being a Christian is just like being a Cowboys fan. It's like being a Dallas Cowboys fan. You have to lie to yourself and others. Like you say, I say this all the time, man. And say it's our year. We them boys, we're going to the Super Bowl. But in fact, you're not going to the Super Bowl. You're not even going to make the playoffs, bro. You're going to lose, and that's what's going to be it. And that's just like Christians. That's it, salvation for everybody. Christ died for everybody, but that's not in the Bible. You're going to be proved to be a liar, just like Cowboys fans, right? Now go ahead and get your precept.
Let's hear about some words from a powerful Levitical prophet, right? This book is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 31. Remember thy children that sleep, for I shall bring them out of the sides of the earth and shew mercy unto them, for I am merciful, saith Yahweh Almighty. Embrace thy children until I come and shew mercy unto them, for my wells run over, and my grace shall not fail.
So who and think about that. If it's for everybody, why is it specifically to them and to them, to their people? Why is it always specifically one chosen people? Why is it the same thing every single time, bro?
It gets better.
Go ahead.
I, Ezra, receive a charge of Yahweh upon the Mount Oreb, that I should go unto Israel, but when I came unto them, they sat me at naught and despised the commandment of Yahweh. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen.
And what is he calling? What is he calling Israelites? What?
O ye heathen.
Why is he calling Israelites heathen? Because what? They transgressed the law and became common like everybody else, because everybody else wasn't given the law. Everybody else wasn't given a covenant of circumcision. That didn't happen to everybody else. So when we forsake all that, what do we be like? Everybody else. We be like the heathen. We become regular goy. We're not set apart anymore. It's not a difficult concept, bro.
That hear and understand. Look for your shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, look for your shepherd.
What? Oh, the good shepherd. Okay.
He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand, that shall come at the end of the world.
God.
Be ready to the reward for the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore.
Shine upon who?
You.
Shine who?
You forevermore.
A specific people. Shine upon you forevermore. Specifically talking about the Israelites. Even when you read, we're going down with that. Even when you read all the way down, it's literally the representation of Revelation chapter 9, where it talks about that innumerable multitude, them getting the crowns and the white robes. It's specifically showing you that Zion in the rest of that chapter. That's why Christians want to get away from the Apocrypha, because it confounds everything. Shalom, it confounds everything that they teach. This is why they try to make it seem like we're illiterate. That's why they try to talk over us. This is why they try to make it seem like we're stupid, because we're actually coming out of the Bible, and they can't combat that with what they teach. You can't, bro. And that's why they do the certain things they do. That's why they'll get loudspeakers to try to speak over us and do that, because you can't deal with the Bible. If y'all really was about what y'all were saying, why don't you come on our platform and confound us? Well, you know where we hold camp at. Go to our camp and try to talk and try to deal with us. Well, I'll have a real peaceful debate with somebody. The only time they really get out of hand is when the Christian gets carnal, because what? They don't know how to deal with the scriptures. That's what happens, bro. That's what happens with Christianity. What you got? Read that. Exactly. 2
Corinthians 13:8. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth.
And that's how you know we're teaching the truth, because they can't do nothing against this. You can't. Well, let me see this. You can't bench press this, bro. Where the camera at? You can't bench press this, bro. These Christians be in the gym all day, but can't bench press this. You can't bench press these scriptures. You can't. Shout out to everybody they're talking about.
Hey, Matati.
God.
You told Shatar about huh?
You talking about the unruly?
Yeah, I know. No. Keep it around.
Hey, bro, you told him what happened when I handed him the Bible?
Oh yeah.
When I gave him the Bible, he didn't know what to do.
Oh,
he said, he was waiting for the exegesis.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I see you went to John 1 there. What are you looking for?
Talking about Paul for 15 minutes.
Oh, goodness.
They don't know the Bible. That's
what to do.
Bro. What you got? Get your precept.
Oh, yeah, this is Acts chapter 5:39. But if it be of God, you cannot overthrow it. Lest happily you be found even to fight against God.
You can't overthrow it. You can't confound what we be teaching, bro. Even the Israelites who ain't even got the what's my noise? All right, okay. Hey, y'all said me real quick until they get quiet. But like, what was I saying? Oh yeah. That's why they can't confound what we talking about, because they don't got the breakdown, man. They don't like you don't have you're literally fighting against God when you come against the Hebrew Israelite movement, bro. When you come against, matter of fact, screw that. When you come against Israel, bro, you're fighting against God. Because matter of fact, give me Zephaniah. You done with that one? You done with that one, right? Give me Zephaniah. What's that when you touch the apple of the Lord's eye? That's 2 and 8, and 2 and 9. Is it Zephaniah or is it Zechariah? Zechariah, my bad.
Zechariah 2 and 8. It says, for thus saith Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that had touched you toucheth the apple of his eye. So you're touching the apple of the Lord's eye when you come up against us, bro. When you try to make videos talking about they're just racist, they just hate people, they preach hate. Well, I mean, the Bible preaches hate. When you try to make all these small little slides at us,
about what we say, like you would say we're preaching hate. The Bible preaches hate. So if you have a problem with that, you're what? Fighting against God, bro. Like that's the thing, bro. You don't even understand that you're doing it. That's crazy. You gonna say something else up?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up when Christ told Peter to get behind him, what he called him, and why he called him that.
You get that?
Let me get it real quick. He said, "Get behind me, Satan."
Verse 24.
Let me get it. This is Matthew chapter 16 and 23. We'll get a little context on it. Right, verse 22. Then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, "Be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee." But he turned and said unto Peter, "Get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me, for thou savorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men." So pretty much you make yourself into Satan, right? When you go against the things of God, like the word of God.
Mm-hmm. When
you go with
prophet is what his prophets taught as well. Because Christ was already, like, it was prophesied that Christ was supposed to die, but Peter didn't want that, bro. So when you go up against that, you're being what? You're being Satan. You're being the opposer. You're being the adversary. You're being adversarial to what the Most High God's wishes are. Specifically, that's why I say, "Get thee behind thee, Satan." Specifically.
Yeah.
Now, wait, were you finished with that?
Kind.
Okay, well, go back to Romans.
Yeah, this is Romans 9 and 24. Even us, whom he had called, not of the Jews only, but also the Gentiles, as he said, also no see, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved.
So it's basically the Gentiles who were called is specifically Israelites, because he explains in verse 25 the fulfillment of that is Hosea chapter 1. Keep going.
As he said also in OC, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not beloved. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. Isaiah also cried concerning Israel.
So Isaiah also cries concerning, like, the thing about this is, like, you got to read this. One thing Christians will do, and a lot of Israelites will do, you got to kind of read a little bit slow to catch certain subtle cuts. Like read 27 again slowly.
Isaiah 9 and 27. Isaiah also cried concerning Israel.
Now also, so what do you think the also means right there? This is an addition to what was already being said. So he also concerning Israel. So what is he saying right there? And so what is he saying right there from Romans 9 and 24 through 26? He's talking specifically about Israel without us even having to break it down to make it that way. He's saying also concerning Israel. So that's talking about Israel, and this, what he's about to say, is talking about Israel. Go ahead.
Though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. A
remnant shall be saved. That's what Isaiah said about the salvation of Israel. And these things like this that you just gotta understand, bro. You gotta just understand how to deal with a Christian like this. And really, all you have to do is read, because you can deal with this. To be honest, you can deal with this. You can deal with this in context of the scriptures, really in context of what Paul's saying. But if you know what the prophets say, you can put it all together like one big old puzzle, and it will all make sense and it'll all tie together. Go to Romans 11 verse 26, because the thing about Romans 11, I'm gonna do my own separate breakdown of that one, because that's like that needs to be a whole breakdown. Like the whole chapter needs to be broken down. But read that.
Romans 11:26. And so all Israel shall be saved.
So the conclusion of Romans chapter 11 of what Paul's talking about in the grafting in process is what? Read again.
And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer,
Christ,
and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob
through his death, because it was for them.
So this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sins.
They shall what?
Take away their sins.
Take away their sins, showing you Christ is dying for our sins, the Israelite sins. That's the breakdown of. That's really like if you cut everything short in Romans 11 and the pertaining to the grafting in process, it's specifically talking about so that all Israel can be saved. Because even if you look at grafting in something, grafting is like, say I had a tree and a branch from that original tree fell off, and I put it back on and wrap it up in a way to where it grows back to how it was. You can't just I can't just have an apple tree and then go get a branch from a damn orange tree and then try to graft that into that tree. That's not how grafting works. And the thing about that is Christians don't even understand that. Like, y'all just say grafting in. Y'all don't even understand what the grafting process is.
I got the definition.
Go ahead.
Grafting or graftage is a horticultural technique whereby tissues of plants are joined so as to continue their growth together. To continue. The upper part of the combined plant is called the scion, while the lower part is called the rootstock. The success of this joining requires that the vascular tissues grow together, and such joining is called inoculation. The technique is most commonly used in the sexual propagation, commercially grown plants for the horticultural and agricultural trades. Let me see. I'm trying to get the part where it talks about
like you can't just put random things together. Because I was really on there. I was gonna just pull it up when I did for Romans 11.
Okay. I'm gonna just let you bring up the source you're gonna bring up.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring up in that breakdown. But yeah, what was it?
Okay.
Get your precept. We're gonna close out after that.
Yeah, and this just shows when and why. It just shows when and why Israel, you know what I'm saying, got cut off for the purpose of them needed to be grafted back in. This is Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 16.
Put it right there.
Oh, okay, God.
Actually, matter of fact, read verse 27. Oh, before you go there, read verse 27 and 28.
Romans 11:27. For this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sins.
Israel sins. Keep going.
As concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sake.
So some Israelites are enemies for the gospel's sake. Or they'll come against us, specifically our own people, but yeah, specifically our own people, or come up against us, even though the gospel's for them. They'll just choose to not take part in it. But what? Keep going.
But as touching the election.
But just touching the election, go ahead.
They are beloved for the Father's sake.
They're still elected. The election is still for them and only for them. I just want to bring that out because a lot of Christians will say that, like, oh, not everybody can be the elect. No, even our people, even when we decided to depart from the Lord, we're still elected, and we're still God's chosen people. We're still the electos. No matter what vocab says, no matter what John White was James White, the Edomite says, we're still the electos. Now go ahead, go with you.
Yeah, this is Jeremiah 11:16. It says, and the Yahweh called thee by name a green olive tree, fair and goodly fruit. With the noise of a great tumult, he hath kindled fire upon it, and the branches of it are broken. So that's when we got cut off. For verse 17, for Yahweh hosts that planted thee, right, the planting of the Lord, hath pronounced evil against thee. For the evil of the house of Israel and of the house of Judah, which they have done against themselves to provoke me to anger and offer incense unto Baal.
By doing what? What does that mean? Being idolaters. That's what God has broken off.
So, and that's who was concerning, Israel and Judah. Not Moab and Edom.
and fucking Ammon. And damn it. What you got?
I was going to go to the parable of the lost son, because that's really what, because Christians will go to what, 11 and 25?
Oh, save that one. Save that one.
Okay, come.
Say that. Hold on.
That's literally what it's referencing. Like,
Lord in Christ. But what you got? You got a precept?
No, I was asking what happened.
Just nothing, man. Nothing happened. Give me Isaiah real fast. Isaiah 45, the last verse, because it said all Israel should be saved. Let's see what that's talking about. And then we're gonna close up.
damn, I got it.
Well, I wanted to pull it up on the screen.
In Isaiah 45 and 25, in Yahweh shall all the seed of Israel be justified.
Be what?
Justified.
Justified. So eventually, because the 2/3 had to get put off and destroyed in the nuclear fire, the 2/3 be cut off, right? But they're going to come back through the children of the 1/3, and then what? They'll be in the new covenant, and then they should be what? Justified after that. They pay their price, and they will after that be justified, because the 2/3 has to get put off and killed. But what? All Israel has to be saved. Why? Because of the covenant that the Most High God made with Abraham, and you see that explained and elaborated on in Galatians, the 3rd chapter. You know, with that, save JB precept, because we're going to use that in the Romans 11 breakdown. With that, I'm gonna close up and say, call halal Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and say shalom.
Shalom.